Alright guys, so welcome back to another video. In today's video we are going to be installing some LED sequential turn signals in the reflectors. I'm really excited about this because quite honestly I was thinking about tinting these because I really didn't like the reflector. Served really no purpose besides obviously if the car's off and somebody's driving behind, they can see this showing off some type of reflective light, but I really wanted it to be functional, and thankfully now we have a local SoCal N Club member who makes them. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys how these will look if you guys were to order these through Kegan. I'll go ahead and make sure to show his information somewhere around here, and if you guys are interested in picking these up, just make sure to send him a DM or find him on Facebook, and he can work out the shipping and whatnot, because he is shipping to people that are not out here in California. So really excited to get these. Includes everything that you need. I'm gonna go ahead and unpackage this in a bit, but inside of here there's a controller for each reflector that's gonna make it so hold on, before I get too far, let me go ahead and explain how these are gonna work. So what these are gonna be able to do when these are installed is I'm gonna be able to, when I turn my turn signals on, these are gonna be functional turn signals. And then as well as when I push on the brake light, these are gonna be functional brake lights as well. And there is an option if you'd like to have a flasher module installed. I opted out for that because personally I really don't like the flasher look, but I know quite a lot of people do. So Kegan does offer that as well, and he does offer different speeds on the turn signal as well. So that's something that you have to discuss with him with purchase, so that way he knows how to program the controller to do the settings that you want. So for mine, I have believe the turn signal on a slow setting, so that way it matches the LED bulb in the inside the turn signal right here, so that way they don't look like they're flashing off. I wanted it to kind of like be in sync, and he showed me the options for it to be like that, so we went with that. And then yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and get these put in. He also did send some instructions on where to wire everything, so what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to try to make a video to show you guys on how to remove all this and how to install it. So first things first, in order to get to this, is we're obviously going to have to remove the rear bumper. So if you have mud flaps are going to have to come off, and figure out what's exactly holding this up. But if it's like the front bumper, there should be a bolt up here, clips down below. We're gonna probably have to remove these turn signals to pop off this, and then we'll kind of go from there. But I'm gonna go ahead and walk y'all through this and see how it goes. But we're gonna start off by removing the mud flaps and removing the tail lights to expose the bolts that are holding the rear bumper. All right, so I have my mud flap off. If you guys do not have a mud flaps, there's gonna be one push tab that's right here on the bottom that you're gonna have to pop off. And then you have obviously these two screws right here. You have one more 10 millimeter, so there's this one, there's that one, then you have one more right here. So we're gonna have to take these off right here. And best way to do that is if you have you don't have to take the wheel off. If you have a short, you know, if you want to get either vice grips and put a small little screwdriver tip on it, or you can either get like a ratchet with the screw tip in it. Let me show you. Where did I put mine? I don't even know what I did with mine. So pretty much how I'm doing it is I'm using it like this, taking everything off like this. That way I don't have to take off the wheel. So everything was able to fit in here. It's gonna get a little bit tighter as I go up here, but I'll figure out how to get that out. But we're gonna start removing those, and then I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. All right, so in order to get in here without popping off this tire, removing the tire to get back here, I have a couple of these to access the hard to reach screws. So unfortunately the 10 millimeter bolt's a little bit too far recessed in, even though it has a Phillips tip head hole in it. So what I'm gonna try to do is get a universal like joint adapter, put it on a small 10 millimeter quarter inch socket, and then like kind of extend it out here just to start loosening it. On the other side I did by hand with my 10 like this, and it just took a while. So it just depends on how fast you really want to get this done. You can remove the rear tire to get this off faster, but I don't mind having to do this to not have to remove the tire. So really just depends on you. And in order to remove these tail lights, really simple. All you're going to really do is just grab it and pull straight up, and then you can see that there's these little metal stubbies, and that is exactly what they go into. So I'm going to go ahead and just disconnect the wiring harness, pull this out of here, and then as you can see, there's one. Excuse me. This is why you don't want to do it one-handed. So yeah, there's a couple of bolts right here that we're going to have to. Right here, 1, 2, and then same thing on the other side. All right, so now that both tail lights are removed, like I showed you guys, we're going to remove this filler tip right here, pop this tab out. Same thing on this side, and then right here as well we have one, and right here as well we have one. So we're going to remove those, and then I'm going to see how. There's also going to be, I believe, a couple of things on the bottom as well that are holding it. So we're going to double check that. So depending if you have a stock diffuser or the Adra diffuser, please excuse. Mine's a mess from just, you know, daily driving. I honestly think somebody kicked the shit out of this.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine. You just can't get.
And I haven't hit anything back here at all. And it's pretty, don't know what happened. Well, anyways, depending on what diffuser you have, you're going to either have on the stock one, you can kind of see through here. This middle plates are usually going to be plastic with the stock diffuser, and there's 5 of them lined up, and those end up going to the bottom of the diffuser right over here on the stock diffuser, and there's going to be push clips right here that you're going to remove all the way down. If you have an Adra diffuser, then you're going to just need to remove the 2 on each side. There's one right here, and then there's another one right here. You're pretty much going to get, there's an Allen right there with the 10mm bolt on the other side nut, and you're just going to go ahead and remove those so that way you can pop it off. And that's what we're going to do, and then I believe we could start pulling the bumper off. Okay, so now that I have everything removed, everything on the bottom, what I had went ahead and did is put my fingers here and just pull out this way. So if that looks like this, pull it out, kind of start guiding it and make sure that you're not going to try to break any of these tabs. Got to figure out how to loosen this part up here. So I'm going to try to figure out how to loosen all this, and then I'll get back to you guys and let you know what I did. All right, so in this area, after I have this undone, pretty much kept pulling up to right here, and then eventually just came right here and pulled up. This piece popped off. So we're going to try that, the same thing over here. Try to get my finger back here, and then put this. So initially, all I'm trying to do is I'm trying to pull up on this to release it from this indentation right there. So once I have that removed, I can pull that back, and then pretty much this all just fell off. So now I'm gonna have to unplug the connectors, diffuser's hitting the ground, and then I can remove the bumper. Just want to show you guys, as soon as you get it removed, you're gonna have these right here that are gonna be for your vanity lights for your license plate. This is going to be your rear view camera, and then after that you can go ahead and just set the bumper off to the side. So now I have everything exposed. Now I can start the wiring. So let me go ahead and unpackage this up, show you guys how everything comes, and then we can figure out how we're going to wire this up. All right, so now that the bumper's off, what we're going to go ahead and do is I'm going to remove this reflector. So we have 1, 2 screws that are going to be removed, and then 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 screws, and then it should just pop out. And then on the instructions that Kegan sent, it shows that we're gonna have to cut this box out. So I'm gonna remove it first, and then I'm gonna see how I'm gonna cut that out. So this is gonna allow the wires to pass through. All right, so we have all the screws off. Looks like this right here is a pinch clip. So like I have to pinch these in, and then it pushes up and it'll help release that. So that's what I'm gonna do, and that should just pop it right out. All right, so this is removed. What I had did is I actually stuck my hand through here, and I pushed up on this red prong that was visible right through this little hole. So I pushed up on that to kind of give me a little bit of pulling room. And then as I was pulling up on this, I pushed in on these to kind of more release it. And then once I had that, I kind of just popped this up. Kind of felt like there was a little bit of tension right here on this side, but just pull it up straight and this pops right out. So I'm gonna put these off to the side because I did a core exchange with Kegan, so that way it saves a little bit of money on my end. So that side's off. We're gonna do this side, and I'll try to prop the camera up so you can see how I do it. As you can see, everything's released, nothing broke. So kind of a lot of tension coming up this way. You're just trying to pry this out. So we have this off now, and then we can put this to the side, and then we'll start opening up those ones. Well, before we actually do that, we're gonna have to cut this little area right here on the instructions that Kegan set. So it says once you have the OEM reflector removed, use a sharp knife to cut this out. So after that's cut out, that's what it's gonna look like once we remove it. The box is cut out. Easiest way to do it is just to come up here and pretty much this sat like that. So pretty much all I did with my razor is I ran it right across. You can see that I missed it once, but I got my line, cut it all the way across, and that way there's a nice clean line. And then on this side it's still visible. So as I said, I get my knife and pretty much I follow my line from here all the way across to right about there. So I actually start off this way, that way I can come this way. And I'm gonna do the same thing, and just like that, it's off. So now that we have this cut off, we're good. All right, so we're gonna open this up. So as you can see, it includes you little wire taps to mount into each side of the tail light, as well as these are going to be your connectors, your butt connectors right here for the open end wires. So as you can see, you're going to need some wire crimpers and then something to take off the coating of this right here, some wire strippers as well. So kind of decided to open these. You want to just be careful not to damage anything, and here they are. So really cool. He did a great job sealing everything up, and you know, this is a really thin piece, so to fit an LED strip in here is really badass. Very nice. Here's the module, and then this is what we're going to be connecting into. So I'm going to start hooking up my connectors on here, so that way I don't have to do it while it's on the car, and then figure out. He gave me a diagram right here. So this one is going to be driver's side, and on the instructions it lets me know that yellow is going to go to my red on the tail light, that the red is going to go to the green on the tail light, my green is going to go to the brown on the tail light, and my black is going to go to the black on the tail light. So my tail light, I'm going to show you guys right here. These are my tail light connectors right here, and it's letting me know that I'm going to have red, green, brown, black. So I'm just going to make sure that I have all my colors right here. Red, no green. So let me see what the fuck green is. Oh, duh, Henry. Looking at the wrong side, you retard. So as you can see right here on the instructions, it lets me know that the driver's side is going to have red, green, brown, black. And as you can see right here, I have red, green, brown, black. And then on the passenger side, it's going to be red, orange, brown, black. And I have red, orange, brown, black. So this is what I'm going to be tapping into. And I'm going to show you guys how I do that as well. So let me go ahead and get these hooked up with my connectors first. If you don't have a good pair of crimpers, make sure that you guys do have something to crimp it down with. I have a pair of crimpers right here that I use. So just make sure that you guys, you know, have the correct tools, so that way it makes it easier on yourself. Alright, so we have all these for the driver's side pin now. So now what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and use these little wire taps that you pinch onto. So with how, I don't know if any of you guys know how these work, but pretty much there's this little metal blade. You're going to crimp this onto the stock wire, and then after that crimps on, you insert in your butt connector into here. So I'm going to go ahead and start connecting these onto each driver's side, so red, green, brown, black, and then I can connect these into the corresponding ones. So let me go ahead and start doing that. And this is the connector, so we'll first do it to red. So just be careful because there is 5 wires on here, so you're only touching red, green, brown, black. There's another black wire that has a piece of brown running through it. You're not going to touch that one at all. Alright guys, so I have everything hooked up to everything minus the black and white, the black and brown. So the black and brown is the only thing I didn't touch. Don't know if you can see that line running through it, but all black, and then the one next to it's black and brown. So we're not going to connect into that. I have my 4 connectors right here, and I have my 4 connectors right here. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is install this on first, feed the wires through, and then go ahead and see about doing the other side as well. So I have the bumper back on. Just a quick heads up that you do want to try to zip tie that little box, the little controller, somewhere where it's not going to be clanging around. The only hard thing is that you don't have much room to go back and forth with the bumper. And yeah, I forgot to fucking connect some things, and I just remembered, so we're gonna have to figure out how to do that. Before you get the bumper connected, you're gonna want to make sure that you connect your 2 connectors right here for each side of the vanity plate, and then for the rear view camera. You want to make sure you have enough slack to reconnect your wires. And then this side right here, I wasn't able to mount my box anywhere, so I'm gonna try to get it through here and try to just zip tie it somewhere so it's not clanging around. All right guys, so I just wanted to go and show you that everything's ready to be connected back. I have all of my, right here, all of my harnesses plugged in, following the correct lines that they're supposed to be plugged into. And on the instructions, Keegan includes everything on what color, but on the driver's side, it's going to be red going into green, yellow going into orange, green going into brown, and then black going into black on the driver. And then on the passenger side, you have black going into black again, yellow going into red, we have red going into orange, and then green going into brown. So that's going to be on the passenger, and then that's it. So I'm going to go ahead and connect everything back in, and then plug the lights in, and then we're going to go ahead and see how everything works. All right guys, so everything is hooked back together besides the mud flaps and the small screws on the side. I just want to make sure everything is working. So as of right now, as you can see, there's now LEDs inside of the reflectors. And if we go ahead and just turn on the hazards real quick, we'll come back here. And you can see that the hazards now work with the sequentials. I really, really like it. good. Let's see how it looks with the brake light. Alright guys, so that's going to do it for today's video. I hope that this helps anybody that's going to attempt this install on their own. I couldn't be any more happier with the way that it made the rear end of the Veloster end look, and thank you Kegan for making this part for the community. If you guys haven't subscribed to the channel, please make sure that you guys hit that subscribe button, like this video, dislike it if it didn't help, leave us a comment, and thank you guys.